Here is what my top looks like so far, and you may have to turn your head to look at it the right way up. This is what I've got so far, and I'm about to do the edging, and I am going to be choosing yellow so that the edging is the same as the neck. I have only done up to round 15, and we are supposed to be doing up to round 16, but this is just with the length. It doesn't make any difference to the stitch count or anything. I've just chosen to do one less round in the length. We are now up to the edging, and I've done different edgings. I have never done this edging that we're about to do now. On my other ones I've made previously, which was the cream cotton one, the teal Red Heart Super Saver. I'm not sure how many photos I'm going to insert into this video, but there's a grey Super Saver, and there may be a light blue cotton one as well, if I get that finished in time. And I've used single crochet for all the borders, because personally I don't like the shell edging, but I'm going to show you how to do it anyway, because I think it looks really great, and it goes with the shells that we're doing. It's just my personal preference. I just wanted a single crochet border. So if you're going to do a single crochet border, you're just going to single crochet in every stitch. So into the top of the trebles and into the chain one space, into the top of the treble, not into there, but just into the trebles and the chain one space, and you're just going to work a single crochet all the way around, and then join with a slip stitch, and then onto your next round you'll just chain one, single crochet all the way around, and just repeat that for as many times as you want. But for the shell edging, this is what we do. We need to chain 4. It's getting a bit hard to get into the camera now. And into the same chain one space, we are going to work 4 trebles this time. And our first chain 4 counts as our first stitch. So altogether we will have 5 trebles in there. So it's 4 trebles and your chain 4. Into the next chain one space, we're going to work 5 trebles. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 trebles, and we want to work 5 trebles in every chain one space around. So when we get around, we're going to join with a slip stitch to the top of the chain 4. And then we're going to cut off our yarn, and we're going to sew in our ends. I have quite a few ends to sew in, but that's all good. So that is the end of our edging. Now we are up to the left sleeve, and it's really hard to get this whole project into the camera, but the bit where we joined, or will be joining for the first round, is the back of our work, because we want the join to be at the back. So then you're going to figure out which one is your left sleeve. So looking at your piece with this at the back, the left hand side is your left sleeve. So that is what we are going to be working on now. And we also have the armhole that's here, and that's where we're going to be working around. So looking at our left armhole, this is the opening to the arm. What it says to do is draw up a loop in the last chain one space of the armhole just before the underarm base. So looking at our work, this yellow round here is our underarm base. So we want to go to the next chain one, which is up here. See this last round that we've got here, which is for me is a green round. The stitches already worked into that chain one space. We want to go to this chain one space here. So we're going to... So once we're in position, we've got the stitches coming out of the corner one there, and then we're going to go to the next one, which is here. We're going to join in our yarn. And I must admit, I had to read these instructions at least 5 times, and I was still sitting there going, what are we supposed to be doing? But I think I have it figured out now. So we're going to just join in our yarn. And we're going to work a beginning shell. So we're going to chain 4. And work a beginning shell into that chain 1 space. Now I'm going to mark this off as I go because I will get confused. And it says treble 2 together over the next chain 1 space of the body in which the half shell has already been made, so that's there, and around the post of the outer treble of the half shell that forms the sides of the armhole opening. So it's in here and also that treble there. So treble 2 together. We're going to yarn over. We're going to work our treble almost like normal. So we're going to go into the space where the half treble is coming out of and work our treble until we have 2 loops on our crochet hook. And normally we would grab hold of that yarn and pull through 2. We're going to leave it there. Then we're going to yarn over twice. We're going to go into the space of the chain 1 and the half treble that we have here. It's got a treble there, chain 1 underneath that, and then the treble. So we're going to go around that. We're going to work our treble, but instead of pulling through the 2 loops there on our last part, we're going to pull through all 3. And that was a treble 2 together. We're going to chain 1 and treble 2 together over the post of the same treble and the base of the center foundation single crochet of the underarm base. Got that? Yep, that's why I was like, what? So we're going to do a 2 together, and I'm pretty sure we're going to go around there. I'm just going to double check my pattern. Okay, yeah. So we're going to do a treble into this post, around this stitch here. So before we pull off the last 2 stitches, we're going to find the middle single crochet. So that is where we've worked our stitches into. And we're going to work around the post. So that's actually around all that there. So yarning over twice, going in from one side to the other and working our treble. So pull through. Why is that not going through? Around. There we go. And then work our treble. And then when we've got the 3 left on our crochet hook, we're going to go through all 3. It's just getting really hard to fit in front of the camera. So I'm trying to do my best this part. So mark that part off our pattern. We're going to chain 1 and then work a treble, 2 together around this post that we just worked around, and also the outer treble of the half shell that we made there. Leave those on the crochet hook, go around our half treble and then pull through all 3. I'm marking this off as I go. We're going to chain 1 and then we're going to work treble 2 together around the post of the same treble and the next chain 1 space in which a half shell has already been worked. So around the same treble is this yellow one here, and then into the chain 1 space where the half treble, which is that yellow bit, has already been worked, which is in there. So going under there, working our treble but leaving the last 2 stitches on, and also the chain 1 space, and then I'll pull through all 3. Okay, so the next bit, and I don't know about you, but my brain's hurting from trying to do that. In the next part, in each chain 1 space around, we're going to work a shell. So that's back to what we know, and it's, what is it, 2 trebles, chain 1, and 2 trebles. So we're going to work a shell in each of the remaining chain 1 spaces, and you should have, let me just have a look, we should have 6 chain 1 spaces remaining. So pause the video and I'll meet you when we're ready for round 2. So once we get to the end, we're going to join to the top of the chain 4, with a slip stitch, and that ends that round. So this is the underarm that we just worked, and I wanted to show you this before it kind of got a bit lost in the armhole, because we're going to be working in the chain 1 spaces of the stitches of the trebles 2 together that we did under the armhole here. And you'll see that we have a treble 2 together here, a treble 2 together there, treble 2 together there, and there. So we've got 4. I'm holding the outside 2, and then you've got 1 there and 1 there. Now in between there are chain 1 spaces. You've got our treble 2 together there, and there is a chain 1 space here. You've got a treble 2 together there, and there is a chain 1 space there. Treble 2 together here, and a chain 1 space there, and this is where we are putting our crochet hook. So in there, and in there. I just thought it might get a bit lost when we do the next round. So finding your crochet hook, you're going to attach, well, my yarn is still attached because I'm using the same colour. And what we need to do is, we've joined to here, we're going to slip stitch across until we get to the chain 1 space. If you're changing colour, you'll just need to join it into the chain 1 space and not slip stitch across. We're going to work a beginning shell, and we're going to work a treble 2 together over the next 2 chain 1 spaces. So we've just worked here, and if we're looking at these stitches here, you'll notice there's our 2 together and our chain 1 space is there. So we want to work a treble into that first chain 1 space, and we're going to stop before we pull the last 2 loops off. We're also going to work one into the next chain 1 space. So we work in there, we've got 2 together, and there's a chain 1 there. So we've worked into here, we've got 2 together, and this is our chain 1 space. And then we're going to go through all 3 stitches. We're going to chain 1, and into this same chain 1 space that we just did, and also the next one, which is here. Now it's hard to see. I'm actually finding it myself hard to see. We're working into there. We've got our 2 together here because it joins at the top of the 2 stitches, and our chain 1 space is that next gap. So we're going to work a treble in the same one we just did. So work in there. and leave the last 2 stitches on our crochet hook, and into the chain 1 space we're going to work a treble as well, and then go through all 3. And now we can breathe, and we can do a shell in the remaining chain 1 spaces. And the chain 1 that we just created just before is where we're going to work with our next round. So continue around, and I'll meet you when we're ready for the next round. I won't show you how to join because you already know that. We're just going to join into the top of the chain 4. Once we have joined, we're going to slip stitch across to the chain 1 space, or if you're changing colour you will join it into the chain 1 space, and we're going to do a beginning shell. And into each chain 1 space around we're going to work a shell. It's just under the arm that you just need to pay attention to where you're putting your crochet hook. So as we come around to the arm, you will see a chain 1 space right in the middle, right there, because this is our 2 together and that's our 2 together. They look like upside down V's, so our chain 1 space is there. So you're working your shell into that chain 1 space and into each chain 1 space around, and we are going to repeat these shells in each chain 1 space around. And at the moment we are on round 3, and we're going to repeat it until we have 11 rounds, and this gives you the length to your sleeve. And round 12 the edging is just the same as the edging that we did around the bottom of our tunic, but you can adjust the length of the sleeve. So if you wanted like short sleeves or 3/4 sleeves, then you can just adjust it to what you want. There's a motorbike about to go past. Thank you very much. Yeah, so you can adjust the length of the sleeves if you need to make them longer. Personally, I have long arms and things never fit me properly, so I can do extra, which is really awesome. You can adjust it to fit your length that you need. So like I said, continue on. This is round 3, and you want to continue until you've got 11 rounds, and then I'll show you how to do round 12, which is just adding the edging. I am going to do short sleeves on this one. So this was the last round of the body, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds in total added to the sleeves. And now we're going to do the edging for the sleeves, and it is the same as what we do for the edging around the bottom of the top. That sounded funny, around the bottom of the tunic. So we're just going to add our yarn in, and we do a chain 4, and then work 4 trebles all in the chain 1 space. So altogether we have 5 stitches. Into the next chain 1 space across, we're going to work 5 trebles in the same space. One, two, three, four, 5. Yep, so it's 5 trebles into the same chain 1 space, and we're going to do this all the way around. So the next chain 1 space you're going to work 5 trebles. So you're going to continue around, and then you're going to join to the top of the chain 4 like we have been doing for our other rounds. So here's the finished edging for our sleeve, and this will be the same for the other sleeve. So I won't show you how to do the edging on the other sleeve because it's exactly the same as this, but in the next video clip I'll show you how to do the other sleeve. And it's worked the same as this sleeve, but we just start in a different position so that when we've finished all of our chains, you can know where we chained up. Where is it? See how we've chained up? There's a chain here, chain there to start the beginning of the round. Yeah, we do the other sleeve, so it's worked the same, but it's just started in a different position, so we start and finish in a different position than this one. But it makes it so the chains are all on the one side of our project, so where the chains are at the moment is currently the back of our work. Because this is where we joined the first round, and if we work our way down here, where are they? We've got to find them again. And our chains are here. So it's on the same side as the back of our work. So when we get to our other sleeve, when we work it, it's going to make it so the sleeves, so the chains are on the back of the work again. I did actually think it was written wrong, and I did it the same as this one. I did exactly the same as that, but then when I'd finished, I had the chains on the other side of the of our tunic, and it kind of did look a bit weird. It was really bugging me, so I'm really going to tell you how to do it the right way now. So you want to grab your yarn that you want to use for your sleeve, and then we're going to work on the other sleeve. So we have the opening of the armhole that we haven't done, and this is the right sleeve that we're going to be working on. And the instructions say with right side facing, so the outside of your work facing you, so the right side, draw up a loop in the last chain 1 space of armhole immediately following the underarm base. So the yellow bit here, or where our front post, sorry, not front post, foundation single crochets are here, that's the underarm of our work. And we're going immediately following the underarm. So going around, and the chain 1 space is there. So we've got where our half shell was worked into there, and then we want to go to the chain 1 space, which is here. So what we're going to do is we're going to join in our yarn. And this project's getting a little bit too big for my workspace, so you're going to have to forgive me if it kind of gets in the way. So we're joining in our colour, and for me it's the same colour. And we want to work a beginning shell. Then we're going to do a beginning shell, so we need to work that. Then what we want to do is work a shell into the next 6 chain 1 spaces. So in our chain 1 space, we want to work a shell into the next 6. And I'm going to do that off camera because you know how to do that. So I'll be back in just a moment. So we've got our beginning shell plus 6 more shells. So you'll have 7 altogether. And you should be up to the chain 1 space that's here just before our half shell goes into that chain 1 space. So what we want to do now, we're working exactly what we did on the armhole, but I'm just going to still film it just in case you've forgotten, because it was a bit of a concentration, a lot of concentration went into it. So we do a treble, and we're going to do a treble 2 together. So the first treble we don't quite finish off. The first one goes into the chain 1 space where the half shell is coming out of. And then we leave the 2 loops on our crochet hook. The next treble is going to go around this treble of the half treble that's just there. So wrapping twice, just going into the space that's there. And then we're going to pull through all 3. We're going to chain 1. Our next treble goes around the same treble here that we did. So we're going to go around that yellow one. So that's just into the half treble that we did under the arm there. And our next one goes around it goes around the center front foundation single crochet. I was just making sure that was right. So we're going to do our next one around the single crochet where all these trebles are coming out of. So we need to go around the back of it and then work our treble, and then just pull through all three. I am marking this off as I go. I'm going to chain one and then work a front post around a treble. I'm going to do it around the post here again, so we're going to go around here. And then leave 2 on our crochet hook. And then we're going to work it around the treble of the half treble that we have there, which is that around here. Through all 3. So that's what it's looking like so far. We're going to do a chain 1. And then, I'm just going to turn my work slightly. We want to work a treble around this yellow treble here of the half shell, and then also into that chain 1 space which is here, which is a shell that we have on the previous part of it. So we'll be doing a treble, and then into that chain 1 space, which is where our half treble is already into, so going into there. And then through all 3. And we're going to join to the top of the chain 4. Oops, I'm going to try and grab the loops. So that's what that round looks like. It's a bit hard to see with all the colours. There we go. So now what we need to do on round 2, and I'm sorry that that last round was a bit sort of stop and start, but it's kind of hard to read and make sure you're up to where you're up to. So round 2 is a slip stitch into the next treble and then work a beginning shell. And we're going to shell into the next 6 chain 1 spaces. So we're going to do exactly what we did on the last round. So let's work a slip stitch across to here, work a beginning shell, and then shell in the next 6 chain 1 spaces. I won't show you how to do that because you already know how to do that. So pause the video and I'll be back in just a moment. So once we've done our 6 shells, and then including the beginning shell, so that makes 7 altogether, we are up to where we did the treble 2 togethers. And if you look at it, just show the best I can, we've got a chain 1 space. So if you look at these V's, so it's 1, 2 and 3, in between the V's, in these gaps, there is a chain 1, and that is where we're working into. So we're going to do a treble 2 together over the next 2 chain 1 spaces, so this one and this one. So going in the first one, making a treble but leaving the last 2 stitches on our crochet hook, going into the next chain 1 space and completing our treble 2 together. Then we're going to work into the same chain 1 space, which is here. Sorry guys, sorry. We need to do a chain 1. Chain 1. Then we're going to work into the same space and work a treble but leave the last 2 stitches on our crochet hook. And our next part of our treble 2 together goes into the next chain 1 space. So that's what it looks like now. You've got 2 together, chain 1, and then 2 together. And now it's just a matter of joining to the top of the chain 4. And I'm making this look a lot harder than it actually is. Why can I not do that? The other loop has disappeared. There we go. Gotcha. So now what we do is we slip stitch across, work a beginning shell into our chain 1 space, and we work shells all the way around. When we get around to where we did our 2 together, we only work into the chain 1 space, because we are going to do a shell into every chain 1 space around. So it's just like normal, going into the middle of our shell where the chain 1 space is. And then just when we get down to here, where our 2 togethers are, our chain 1 space is right in the middle, and that is where we're going to work our shell. So again, you want to work rounds of shells in each chain 1 space until you have the same amount of rounds that you did for the first sleeve that you did. And then you're going to complete the edging that we've already done. And yeah, I will meet you when we've finished all that part. Here are my sleeves finished, and the alternate sleeve that I've done on some of mine is just single crochet in every stitch around. You single crochet into the trebles and the chain 1 space, and you just join it with a slip stitch. So that's another alternative way that you can do your sleeves. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. It was so much fun. I'm really happy on the way this one has turned out. I love, love, love all the colours. Please subscribe, as we do have videos uploaded every week to Bob Wilson 123. If you would like to check out other videos that I have, click on my username and that will take you straight to my channel. Please share your creations on our Facebook page, as we love to see the creations you are making as well as the colours you are using. Please share this on Creation Crochet's Facebook page, as I am sure that Lorraine would love to see what you have been up to. Again, I would like to thank you for watching this video, and until next time, happy crocheting. Description box below. The yarn that we've used in this project is from Red Heart Super Saver.